A terrible famine gripped Judah. Elimelech took his wife, Naomi, and their 2 sons to Moab. In Moab, Elimelech died, leaving Naomi a widow. Her sons, Mahlon and Chilion, married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. After 10 years, both sons also died. Naomi was left with her 2 daughters-in-law. The weight of loss was almost too much to bear. News reached Naomi that the famine in Judah had ended. She decided to return to Bethlehem. Naomi urged Orpah and Ruth to stay in Moab. Orpah tearfully agreed and returned to her family, but Ruth clung to Naomi, refusing to leave her. Ruth declared, "Where you go, I will go. Your people shall be my people, your God my God." Naomi saw Ruth's unwavering loyalty. Together they journeyed back to Bethlehem. Naomi tried to persuade Ruth to stay in Moab. Ruth's commitment was unwavering. They arrived in Bethlehem, where the townspeople were surprised to see Naomi. Naomi said, "Call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me." She felt she had returned empty, yet Ruth stood faithfully beside her, their journey marked by loss and loyalty. The path from Moab was long and dusty. Ruth supported Naomi with tender care. They finally reached Bethlehem. Naomi struggled with feelings of despair. Ruth saw a chance to work and provide. She observed the fields ripe for harvest. Ruth formed a plan to glean in the fields. Ruth learned of the custom allowing the poor to glean in the fields. She asked Naomi for permission to glean. Naomi blessed her, touched by Ruth's courage. Ruth prepared herself for the day. She stepped into the unknown, trusting in God. Ruth's love for Naomi gave her great courage. She hoped to return with food for them both. Ruth's resolve was strong, her spirit prepared. Ruth began to glean behind the harvesters. She worked with quiet grace, gathering stray stalks. Her diligence was evident to anyone who watched. The field belonged to Boaz, a relative of Naomi's late husband. Ruth was unaware of this connection. She toiled on, trusting her efforts would be blessed. Her thoughts often turned to Naomi, waiting at home. Ruth's love fueled her weary arms and tired body. Boaz arrived to oversee his harvesters. He noticed Ruth and asked about her. The foreman explained she was the Moabite woman who came with Naomi. Boaz was moved by her dedication. He approached Ruth gently and spoke kindly. Boaz offered her protection and a place to glean. Ruth was deeply grateful for his kindness. Boaz's compassion shone through his actions. Boaz instructed Ruth to stay in his field. He ensured her safety and offered her water. Ruth was overwhelmed by his generosity. She asked why he showed such favor to a foreigner. Boaz acknowledged her loyalty to Naomi. He blessed her for her sacrifices. Ruth felt seen and valued. Boaz's kindness was a balm to her spirit. Boaz invited Ruth to share a meal. She ate until she was satisfied. Boaz instructed his men to let her glean among the sheaves. Ruth gathered a generous amount of barley. She returned to Naomi with the bounty. Naomi was amazed by the abundance. Ruth revealed she had worked in Boaz's field. Naomi recognized Boaz as a relative and praised his kindness. Ruth gleaned in Boaz's field until evening. She threshed the barley, gathering a large quantity. Ruth returned to Naomi with the grain. Naomi was overjoyed by the abundance. Ruth shared Boaz's kindness and generosity. Naomi recognized Boaz as a kinsman redeemer. She praised God for his provision. Ruth and Naomi's future began to look brighter. Naomi's heart leapt upon hearing the name Boaz. A spark of recognition, a flicker of old hope. "May he be blessed by the Lord," Naomi exclaimed, her voice trembling slightly with sudden emotion. "His kindness has not forsaken the living or the dead." She saw a divine hand in this unexpected meeting. The Lord was working in ways she had not foreseen. Then Naomi revealed a crucial piece of information. "That man is a close relative of ours," Naomi explained. Her eyes met Ruth's, conveying the significance. "He is one of our kinsman redeemers." This term, kinsman redeemer, held deep meaning. It was a vital part of Israelite law and custom, a provision for families who had fallen on hard times, a way to protect the vulnerable and preserve heritage. Ruth listened intently, trying to understand fully. A kinsman redeemer had specific, important duties. He could redeem land that a relative had sold. This kept property within the family lineage. He could also redeem a relative sold into servitude. And crucially for them, he had another role. If a man died without a son to carry his name, the kinsman redeemer could marry the widow. Their firstborn son would inherit the deceased man's name and property. Naomi saw a glimmer of possibility for their future, a future that had seemed so bleak and empty. Boaz, a man of character, wealth and relation, could be the one to restore their family's fortunes. He could provide security for Ruth, a new life, and continue the line of Elimelech and Mahlon. This was more than just charity. It was about restoration. It was about redemption in a very real, tangible way. Ruth absorbed Naomi's words with quiet thoughtfulness. The customs of this new land were complex, but she trusted Naomi's wisdom completely. If Naomi saw hope in this man, Boaz, then Ruth would listen carefully to her guidance. Her loyalty to Naomi extended beyond simple companionship. It was a bond of deep respect and shared destiny. She understood the weight of what Naomi was saying. Naomi's mind, once clouded by bitterness, was now sharp. She saw a path, a divinely orchestrated opportunity. The Lord had not abandoned them in their plight. He had led Ruth to the field of Boaz. He had inclined Boaz's heart to show such kindness. Now, Naomi felt a stirring of purpose within her. She began to consider what steps they should take next. A plan started to form in her experienced mind. "My daughter," Naomi said, with gentle determination, "should I not seek security for you, that it may be well with you?" Her love for Ruth was like that of a true mother. She wanted to see Ruth safe, cherished, and provided for. She knew the hardships of a widow's life. She desired a better future for her devoted daughter-in-law. This was her responsibility, her heartfelt wish. Boaz, the kinsman redeemer, was the key. Ruth replied simply, her faith in Naomi unwavering. "All that you say to me I will do." Her obedience was born of love and trust. She placed her future into Naomi's capable hands. She sensed the wisdom in her mother-in-law's words. A quiet anticipation began to fill their small home. The despair was lifting, replaced by a fragile hope. They would wait and watch for the Lord's unfolding plan. The barley harvest was nearing its end. Naomi knew the time for action had arrived. Boaz would be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. He would be there at night to catch the evening breeze. This was a tradition, a time of work and then rest. Naomi saw this as a perfect God-given opportunity. Her heart felt a sense of hopeful anticipation now. She called Ruth to her side, her voice gentle but firm. "My daughter," Naomi began, her eyes full of love, "I must find a home for you, where you will be provided for." She spoke of security, of a future for Ruth. "Boaz, whose young women you have been with, is our kinsman. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor." Naomi then laid out her careful, thoughtful plan. It was a plan that required courage and complete trust. Ruth listened intently, her heart open to Naomi's words. "Wash and perfume yourself and put on your best clothes," Naomi instructed. Ruth was to make herself presentable, respectful. "Then go down to the threshing floor," she continued, "but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking." This part of the plan required great discretion. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down there. "He will tell you what you are to do," Naomi concluded. Ruth absorbed every detail of Naomi's instructions. It was an unusual request, steeped in ancient custom. It asked her to be vulnerable, to take a bold step. Yet her faith in Naomi was absolute and unwavering. She trusted Naomi's wisdom, her love, her guidance. She had followed Naomi from Moab into the unknown. She would follow her counsel now, in this critical moment. "I will do everything you say," Ruth replied with quiet resolve. So Ruth went down to the threshing floor. She did everything just as her mother-in-law told her. She watched quietly from a hidden spot. Boaz ate and drank, his heart cheerful after a good day's work. Then he went to lie down at the end of the pile of grain. The air was cool, the stars shone brightly above. Ruth approached him silently, her heart beating fast. This was the moment, the turning point for her future. She gently uncovered his feet as Naomi had instructed. Then she lay down quietly in the darkness. In the middle of the night, something startled Boaz. He woke with a jolt and turned over. He was surprised to find a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice hushed in the stillness. The question hung in the air, full of surprise. Ruth knew she had to be brave and speak clearly. "I am your servant Ruth," she replied, her voice steady. She spoke with humility, yet also with purpose. "Spread the corner of your garment over me," she requested. This was a symbolic act, a plea for protection. "Since you are a kinsman redeemer," she stated clearly. She was laying claim to his role, his responsibility. She was asking him to redeem her, to marry her. Her words were brave, her request profound in its meaning. Boaz was deeply moved by her words and her actions. "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he said kindly. His voice was filled with respect and admiration. "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier." He praised her loyalty to Naomi and now this act. "You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor." He recognized her noble character, her selflessness. "And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask." Boaz assured Ruth of his intentions that night. "All the townspeople know that you are a woman of noble character." Her reputation for loyalty and goodness had spread. However, there was one matter to resolve first. "Although it is true that I am a kinsman redeemer," Boaz explained, "there is a kinsman redeemer nearer than I. This other man had the first right of redemption." Boaz promised to settle the matter properly and honorably. "Stay here for the night," Boaz told her gently. "And in the morning, if he wants to redeem you, good. Let him redeem you," Boaz said, showing his integrity. "But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it." His promise was firm, a solemn vow before God. He then instructed her to lie down again until morning. Before dawn, he sent her away with a generous gift of barley. He acted with discretion to protect her reputation. Early the next morning, Boaz went to the town gate. This was the place where legal matters were settled. He met with the other kinsman redeemer and the town elders. Boaz presented the situation concerning Naomi's land and concerning Ruth, the Moabitess, Mahlon's widow. The nearer kinsman initially agreed to redeem the land, but when he learned he must also marry Ruth, he declined, fearing it would endanger his own estate. So the right of redemption passed to Boaz. He declared before the elders and all the people that he would redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth. He would do this to maintain the name of the dead with his property. The elders and people blessed him, wishing them well. So Boaz took Ruth as his wife, and she conceived. Their union was a joyous occasion, a testament to faith, a love story woven into God's greater design for his people. The marriage of Ruth and Boaz was pure joy. It marked a beautiful, blessed new chapter. Naomi's deep sorrows began to finally fade. Ruth's steadfast loyalty found its sweet reward. Their home was filled with love and gentle peace. The days of hardship were now behind them. God's faithfulness had shone through brightly. He had turned their mourning into dancing. Throughout their journey, God's hand was clear. He guided Ruth to Boaz's specific field. He stirred Boaz's heart with true compassion. He orchestrated every step of their meeting. What seemed like chance was divine providence. His intricate plan unfolded with perfect timing. He worked through their faithful, loving choices. His quiet, sovereign care was always present. Kindness echoed loudly through their story. Ruth's kindness to Naomi was remarkable. Boaz's kindness to Ruth was so generous. These acts of love were divinely blessed. Providence guided them through uncertain paths. God provided for them in their deepest need. Redemption was the beautiful final outcome. Their lives were restored by his loving grace. Soon a precious son was born to them. Ruth and Boaz named their baby boy Obed. This child brought immeasurable joy to all. Naomi, once called Mara, was now full again. She held her grandson close to her heart. The women of Bethlehem rejoiced with her. Obed was a sign of God's great restoration. Her family line would continue strong and true. Obed, their son, was more than just a child. He was a vital link in God's unfolding plan. He carried the hopes of his loving family. His birth secured the lineage of Elimelech. Naomi nursed him, her heart overflowing. He was a symbol of new beginnings always, a testament to faith that overcomes great loss. His future held significance beyond their sight. The Bible tells us of Obed's own son. Obed became the father of a boy named Jesse. Jesse grew to be a respected man in Bethlehem, and Jesse, in turn, had many strong sons. One of these sons was a shepherd boy, a youth with a heart devoted to God. This young shepherd boy was named David, the future great king of all Israel. Think of the wonder of this divine truth. Ruth, the Moabitess, a foreigner in Judah, a woman from a land once outside the covenant, became an ancestor of Israel's most beloved king, King David, a man after God's own heart. This shows God's mercy, his inclusive love. His grace extends beyond all human boundaries. He chooses the humble to fulfill his great purpose. The story of Ruth and Boaz endures always. It inspires us with its timeless, deep lessons. Lessons of loyalty, unwavering faith, and pure love. It reminds us that God works in mysterious ways. He brings beauty from ashes, joy from sorrow. He redeems, he restores, he always provides. Their love story is a beacon of shining hope, a testament to God's unfailing redemptive power.